Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm happy to have you today as a guest to talk about you and how to physically get things working for you on a regular basis. Please let me know if you're joining in today. It's always good to see you. And I look forward to having a good session with you today. There's no question in my mind, Tone Up Thursdays are all about you and helping you increase your muscle mass while reducing body fat and really just getting to see the definition that you have and the shape that you were blessed to have. And it's been exciting when you really think about it. And every time that I have been able to work with individuals, the improvements have been just outstanding in the way that they are actually living their life, enjoying their life, high energy. I mean, just the greatest of all types of activities. I mean, when you think about quality of life, you really want to think about your family, yourself. Are you enjoying every day? Are you getting up with gusto and energy? And there's no doubt in my mind we all have that ability, but like everything in life, it's a choice. I'm coming to you from my office, home office that is, and that's in the greater Charlotte area. And one of the nicest things about working from home is that you have the ability to have some extras in the office. I just want to take you through a couple things that I carry in my office during the day. I sort of have alerts every 20 to 30 minutes to get up and do something while I'm here throughout the day and sometimes evenings. It's always important to remember that sitting is not our friend. Our bodies are not built to sit. Our bodies are built to move and to stand up and basically be active. And I want you to know that some of the things that I'm going to show you here will be very helpful for you just by having them around. Now, I know we all have different types of home offices, but I wanted to share with you a couple things that I have in my home office that might give you some insight. And everything that I have, basically, I bought through our shop.com sites. If you've never shopped at shop.com, I recommend that you talk to the person that invited you here to this session or shared this session, and they'll tell you all about shop.com. But first and foremost, some of the stores that I like for when it comes to fitness is Paragon Sports. I look at Unbeatable Sales. That's really a great place to get some things. I also like to look at Macy's, and I look at Bed Bath & Beyond. That's right. Looking for yoga mats, for example. One of the things that I have in my office is a yoga mat. You never know when you want to get down to stretch. You want to do a little bit of extra core workout or do some planks. These are all things that are helping to strengthen your body so that you can work more efficiently throughout the day. Some of the other things that I use, I have some small weights that I have in. They're not heavy. They're just 5-pounders. And you'll have to have what you can work with best. It might be a 2-pounder, a 3-pound, a 5-pound, or a 10-pound. You might have multiples, but again, having some weights are nice. Now, other things that I want you to know that I also have alternatives to weights. This is nothing more than a gallon of water. I don't know if you know this, but a gallon of water weighs about 8.5 pounds. So if you don't have the weights, you can certainly move to the gallons of water that you may have around the house, or pick them up the next time you're at the grocery store. Some of the other things that I really enjoy using are bands. Have an array of bands depending on what exercises that we use. But I do want you to know that bands are great for resistance. An alternative to actually having the weights, but things that you can do in your home, really easy, setting up schedules. And we'll talk about a workout to send you on your way after we're done. I also, I don't know about you, but from my sports playing in the National Football League and playing college football, I have arthritis in my hands and wrists. So doing push-ups is a bit uncomfortable. So there's something called the Perfect push-ups. So for those that have a resistance of the wrist, you can do them based on using the perfect push-up. These are great, works really well, really helps keep the chest area nice and strong in the triceps. Very nice to do on a regular basis. I also feel very, how do I say, it's so important that we measure ourselves, and in some cases measuring and monitoring so that we can make the adjustments. And without a doubt, you need something to help you there. And what I use is something called Core-Tech. Okay. Basically, you can find it at shop.com. You wear it sort of like a wristband, but it gives you all the different measurements that you want. It'll tell you the time, and you can get messages, of course, but I'm talking about steps and calories burnt throughout the day. Some people measure their days with activities on how many steps that they make, whether it's 5,000, 7,500, or 10,000 a day. Or at the same time, you may want to know your pulse, your heartbeats per minute. Give you a great example. I've always aimed at resting heart rates to be under 60. It will vary with different people. Like your superstar athletes could be in the 40s or high 30 beats per minute. I think you've got a pretty good heartbeat if you're working around 60, 65. I am resting at 58, which is cool. How do I know it? It tells me all the time. It also tells me when my heartbeat raises when I'm active, which is important too, especially if you're understanding basically for number one, duration and intensity, because if you want to do any type of interval training, you want to be able to get that pulse rate up and going. But the Core-Tech is really good. The other thing that I like about it is blood pressure. It's very important indicator for us. And this device, I like it very much. It tells me what my blood pressure is throughout the day. And it's funny how it ranges, but I've been really good to get that in range of about 120, 122 over 75 to 80, which has been great. It's supposed to be where I should be, which is nice. As we mature, as we grow older, we want to maintain some of the measurements so that we can keep track. And if things are out of line, we have the opportunity in which we can go see a health professional about making things happen. For example, if you have to improve your conditioning or improve those blood pressure numbers. So I think it's really important for all of us to remember that. Oh, the other thing that I recommend strongly is that every office should have a ball. And basically, this is not only to sit on, but you can work your core very nicely by doing planks on this ball. And if you've never tried it, do a plank on the ball and then write out the alphabet. That'll let you know if you have a pretty strong core or not. Most people have a hard time getting past the letter M. But anyway, go for it. These are things that'll keep your day active. So many times, we try to commit to make something happen when it comes to being active. And I just want to reinforce that being in motion is critical, especially, if you're sore. A lot of people feel if they're sore, they should not, they need to rest. And the bottom line is, as a former professional football player coming off of a game when I was with the Philadelphia Eagles or Detroit Lions, we were very sore that Monday. But the thing we did on Monday was come back in to the stadium and we worked out, we ran, we stretched, we made our muscles move to get the blood flowing and to get that inflammation out of there and recover faster. So a lot of people feel if I've got a sore shoulder or sore arm that I shouldn't do anything. No, you have to be smart about that. What you don't want to do is you don't want to get to a point where you have that pain, but don't confuse stiffness with pain, so that they have terms for that: chronic pain is sort of that ongoing pain that you have, or acute pain when something goes out. If you've ever had a torn meniscus in your knee, it feels like somebody shot you in your knee. It's not a serious thing. You have to get it repaired. You either have to rest it or get it sewed, but it's just a small padding that goes around the joint, but it can be torn very easily. And at that moment, it's going to hurt, but it releases that pain. And with rest, it can come back, or with surgery, it can come back very quickly. In the measuring part of this, I just want you to know setting a schedule is so very important. I mean, there's not a day in my life that I don't get up. I take care of what I do when I get up. I get into my nutrient cocktail, my vitamin cocktail with the Isotonics Daily Essentials or anti-aging formula with some extra OPC and resveratrol, all good ingredients for staying young and vital, and at the same time, I go immediately to the gym or go out for a bike ride or go for a walk, jog. I'm immediately going into motion before I really start my day. And it changes everything. And it's like proven. There have been scientific studies that have been documented that by exercising and moving, for at least 30 minutes, 4 or 5 times a week, it really helps the brain stay healthier, more alert, your ability to make decisions better. And it's documented. And I love this because what do we all fear as we grow older? The number one fear is not death. The number one fear in adults is losing your mind. And, I heard it last night where Suzanne Howe, our registered dietitian, was talking about they're looking to categorize a third type of diabetes, a diabetes 3, which works and refers to the brain, meaning loss of memory, those kind of things that make us forget who we are and what we do. And it's caused by different things, including inactivity, too much sugar or carbs in our life. But we have to be aware of this because we are getting smarter along the way. Now, the other thing that I want you to know, we talked about schedules. Whenever it is, that's the most important, but we want to target 30 to 45 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week. I go for 6 minimal. And I know in addition to that, I've got the activities that I have to do around the house. Now, I want you to know if you're a construction worker or somebody that moves around for a profession, you have to do that plus, okay? Just because you're active in your job, I don't know if you've ever seen a construction worker with a large midsection. That's because their body adjusted to their performance that is expected based on what they do as a profession. You still have to get out and do in addition to what you do normally. And I just want you to know that. Now, the other thing that I want to talk briefly about is in the strength area and what we're doing. I want you to focus on this week a lot more stabilization, core, some agility. I also will improve on the resistance side of this in your homework assignment. But I want to go back. Last week, we talked about going out and measuring a mile course from your house. We talked about duration and intensity. And for instance, if you go at 4 miles per hour, you would walk that 1 mile in 15 minutes. If you were going at 3.5, it would take about 17 minutes. And if you're going less than that, it'll take, of course, more. So this week, I want you to do an increase in intensity in walking that mile on a daily basis. If you walked a mile in 17 minutes, I want you to work for 16 minutes or 15 minutes. The other thing is, if you quit after the mile, I want you to go a little bit further to surpass the 20 minutes and start working up in your time Time is very important. Ultimately, I want you walking for at least 45 minutes a day, and ultimately we'll evolve from the walking to speed walking in maybe short bursts of, jogging at a higher pace for maybe 30 seconds. We're going to start moving to get that heart working more. But it is something that I want you to keep focused on, because we have to keep that cardio. And now, in addition to that, I want you to remember that each day we should accomplish certain things. So I'm going to bring up my recommended workout 2 for you. Last week, you can find it on the Facebook page, the workout 1. This is basically going to be workout 2. And what I want to do is to be able to, let's bring this up so I can make it full for you. I want to talk through this real quick. Workout 2, remember dynamic stretching? We talked about that. Dynamic stretching is the stretching before you go out. It's your warm up, and that's where we want to move the joints. So you all remember the windmills, right? You're bent over and you're touching left to right, looking to get down to that foot, all right? And we're also going to be working with some jumping jacks, 20 of those. I think all of you know how to do that. And now I want you to be working on shoulder presses, okay? So that you're actually getting those shoulder joints moving, getting the blood circulated, okay? You don't need any weights. Do you have some weights? You can put them in there. You can use your gallon jugs of water there also. This is just your warm up. Now, again, I want you to basically look through these. It's a squat, curl, and press. So with that, I recommend some weights. So if you used your jugs of water, you would do your squat, right? Then you do your curl, and then you do your press. That would be 1, okay? So this is a wonderful way to get your large muscles working in your legs, also working on the definition of your arms, as well as your shoulders. Very, very good exercise for you. The shadow boxing, what I like to do is basically take my 5-pound weights, and you'd be surprised how hard it is for 60 seconds to keep yourself shadow boxing. Can you believe it? The professionals go 3 minutes of keeping their arms up. If you've never tried it, it is something else. But this is a really good exercise, cardio-wise, and again, for your arms and shoulders. Pecs, lats, it's very good for you, and it works well. The flutter kicks are laying on your back with your legs going up. The stair hops, it's basically just getting at the bottom of your steps and hopping up to the first step, coming down, hopping up. Depending on your abilities, you could go a little higher using a box or some sort of stable platform. Lunges, I think you're familiar with those. Your push-ups. Now, just so you understand, I asked for 20 push-ups. If you can only do 2, then I need you to do 10 sets of 2. If you could only do 10, do 10, then rest and do 5 more, but get to 20, but don't switch to a different exercise. Let's complete the exercise before you go to the next area. Then your step ups basically, or bench ups, depending on your conditioning, is nothing more at the base of the step, just going up and down, up and down, up and down, moving the arms up and down, paying close attention. This works on the agility that you have. Push-up position rows. Basically, you're doing a push-up. You can use weight or you don't have to, but when you're in the push-up position, basically when you come to the extension up, you're just gonna take that arm and lift it up and come back down, do another push-up, and then you're gonna take the other one up and down, all right? And ideally, you can eventually use your weights to do the push-ups with, and you're basically doing the push-up and lifting up that motion as a row. And burpees. I know you're hating life when I'm saying burpees, but let me just say this to you. I don't do a full burpee. I basically use a bench, and I basically go down to the bench, kick back my feet, come back up to the bench, and then stand up. Do this. It doesn't have to be crazy fast. We're looking for the motion. And as time goes on and your body gets more muscle memory and strength, they'll be smoother and smoother. What I'm telling you here is I've put in some exercises that will be uncomfortable for you. But I want you to remember, uncomfortable, when you become uncomfortable, is when you're making your greatest strides. But listen to your body. Don't be afraid to push it, and then you can move further. Now, take this. This will again be put up on the TLS Weight Loss Solutions page, so you can pull that down. And also, you'll be seeing this video that we'll put on after we're completed today. Next week, I'm going to have a special guest, a professional who's worked with people for many years. You're going to love her, and please join me. And in the meantime, increase that walk time, also increase the intensity, and let's try or move to, let's not try, let's move to workout number 2, and let's keep the process moving. And I'm so grateful that you're part of the TLS 28 Days of Weight Loss. Make it a great day.